Actually, some people are still coming in, but we will just begin now. And today's lecture will be given by Ms. Skyong Choi, who's a researcher at the Green Technology Center of Korea. And her lecture title is Cases of Adopting Technologies Dealing with Deforestation and Its Impacts. So now I'll pass it on to Ms. Skyong Choi, and I hope everyone will be attentive and enjoy the lecture today. Thank you.
So, hi everyone. I will share my presentation file first. So, are you guys can see my presentation file? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Just in case. So hello everyone. In Sunday. So thank you for participating in the webinar in Sunday, very precious Sunday afternoon. So I'm Kayong, and I'm currently working as a researcher at Green Technology Center. And it's very nice to meet you even online today. So when I first heard the request for a lecture, I was very happy because I was happy that this year's GYCC theme was the same as my major, forest. And I was also happy that I could make a small contribution to the activities of young people. So because when I was a college student, I had experience participating in various international activities like you. So because of that experience, I'm now doing work related to the environment. So today, in a short time, I want to share my experience and knowledge with you. So, my presentation is following order. So first of all, let me introduce GTC I'm working on. And next, I'd like to share my experience of how I measured forest sciences. And going into the main body of the presentation, the importance of forests and the causes and effects of deforestation, and to introduce various technologies to solve this problem. And I would like to introduce some startups that are based on forest-related technology. And lastly, because I heard that you are also preparing to develop a P4G partnership, so I will briefly introduce the P4G partnership that I personally participated in 2019. So we, GTC, as a government-affiliated research institute in the Ministry of Information, Science, and Technology, are undertaking policy and strategy development and research activities on climate technology transfer and international cooperation. So what sets us apart from other research institutes is that we not only conduct research, but also directly involved in development and implementation of cooperative projects. So we are actively discovering and implementing international climate technology cooperation projects using international funds such as GCF and also ODA. So in addition, through this project, research topics are discovered and policy research is being conducted. So it can be said that GTC is the only research institute with this role in Korea. So next, let me introduce myself briefly. So I majored in forest environmental science. So before coming to GTC, I had experience working at National Institute of Forest Sciences. So my research topic is a comparative study of policies between countries, and I'm particularly interested in Asia issues. So looking at in my career, so it seems that I have been a forester since I was born and since I started my career, but actually I was a student who majored in business in my undergraduate, which had nothing to do with forestry. So, however, one volunteering experience as college student completely changed the course of my life. So this photo was taken by myself. So this is the Kubuchi Desert in Inner Mongolia, China, and it's a desert that is becoming desert. So it's a desertification area. So when I was in college student, I participated in an NGO volunteer program called Future Forest, and it's a planting trees in the Kubuchi Desert. So it was literally planting trees in the desert. So in the vast desert, volunteers worked hard to plant trees. And thanks to the hard work of planting trees, the Kubuchi Desert is getting green little by little. So I turned my life around after participating in this volunteer activity. So I think it was then, so it's a small effort, but I think it's the first time I felt the environment change with my effort. So after graduating from college, I entered the graduate school of forest and environmental department, which was not related at all, and eventually became a PhD in forest environmental science. So in the acknowledgement of my dissertation, I wrote my thanks. So a visit to the desert changed my life. So I couldn't even imagine it until I visited the desert and met my friends who had been involved in the activity together. So I had no idea that I would be studying the environmental issues, but perhaps you have had the same experience, or I think you will. So perhaps the GYCC participating this time could be an opportunity for that. So I think today is more important, and this chance is more important than any other time, hopefully. So let's get to know the forest in earnest. So I heard that you have already developed basic knowledge about forest through several lectures. So forests do a lot of things. So forests are both a habitat for wildlife and also habitat for people, and people can get oxygen from forest and also timber. So people also enjoy leisure recreation in the forest. So scholars or some academia also define the four functions of forest as energy provision and timber production and recreation, tourism, and nature conservation. But above all, forests are very important in the following respect. So it absorbs carbon dioxide and supplies oxygen to the earth. And it provides us with medicines and foods, and also serves to reduce noise in the city. So, and it also absorbs pollutants so that we can live in the clean air. But however, these important forests are increasingly being destroyed. So the definition of deforestation generally means change of forest. So although slightly different depending on how forest is defined, but in particular, it means that existing forests are transformed into land instead of forest due to human influence. So then what are the causes of deforestation? So surprisingly, the biggest cause is the agricultural activity. So agricultural activities account for almost 80% of the causes of deforestation. And due to the overgrowing demand for food products, a huge amount of trees are felled to grow crops, and 33% of agriculture caused deforestation is because of subsistence agriculture. And also raising livestock are also causes deforestation. So because livestock is believed to be responsible for about 40% of global deforestation. So farmers often clear the land by cutting down trees and burning them to raise livestock and grow food. So they continue to use the property until the soil is completely degraded and repeat the same process on new woodland. So then another reason is logging, especially illegal logging. So wood-based industries like paper, furniture, etc. also need a substantial amount of wood supply. So wood is used as fuel, both directly and indirectly. So therefore, trees are chopped for meeting the demand for suppliers. So firewood and charcoal are examples of wood being used as a fuel. So some of these industries thrive on illegal wood cutting and felling of trees. So another biggest reason would be forest fires. So hundreds of trees are lost each year due to forest fires in various portions of the world. So maybe you remember like Australian forest fire issues and Yellowstone forest fire issues. So it happens due to extreme warm summer and milder winters. And fires, whether caused by man or nature, result in a massive loss of forest cover. So some of the other factors that lead to deforestation are also partly natural and partly anthropogenic. So like desertification of land. So it occurs due to land abuse, making it unfit for the growth of trees. So many industries in petrochemicals release their waste into rivers, and which result in soil erosion and make it unfit to grow plants and trees. So, and also oil and coal mining requires a considerable amount of forest land. So apart from this, roads and highways have to be built to make way for trucks and other equipment. So the waste that comes out from mining pollutes the environment and affects the nearby species. So further, to gain access to these forests, the construction of roads is undertaken. So here again, trees are chopped to build roads, and overpopulation to directly affect forest covers. And as with the expansion of cities, and more land is needed to establish housing and settlements. So therefore, forest land is declined. So overpopulation, also like overpopulation requires more land to establish housing and settlements. So it generates a significant need for food and farmland to grow food and raise livestock. So it's a vicious cycle. So it automatically requires many more roads and highways for transport and communication. So all these result in deforestation. So these are our main deforestation driving factors. So in addition to major causes of deforestation mentioned above, like scholars, academia also define that deforestation is caused by the institutions and economic growth that promote it. So it's a human, or the problem is a human. So then what are the effects of deforestation? So deforestation actually causes climate change. So deforestation affects the climate change in many ways. So forests are the lungs of our planet, as you know. So trees take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen and water in the air. And that is why tropical rainforests are extremely humid. But trees also provide shade that keeps the soil moist, but all these are compromised with the lack of trees. So it leads to the imbalance in the atmospheric temperature, drier climate, and further making conditions for the ecology difficult that leads to climate change. And also like several animals and plant species that from the flora and fauna across the world was vastly accustomed to their natural habitats. So therefore, clearance of forests would make it very difficult for them to survive or to shift from their native environment or adapt to new habitats. So when a forest is cut down, the humidity levels come down and cause the remaining plants to dry out. So drying out tropical rainforest and just or forest increases fire damage that destroys the forest rapidly and harms wild animals as well as humans. So and also trees plays a major role in controlling global warming. So the trees utilize greenhouse gases, so restoring the balance in the atmosphere. So with constant deforestation, the ratio of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has increased. So adding to our global warming oath. So forests help to mitigate carbon dioxide and other toxic GHG emissions. But however, once they are cut, burned, or otherwise removed, they become carbon sources. So it's estimated that deforestation is responsible for around 20% of GHG emissions. And due to tropical deforestation, 1.5 billion tons of carbon is released every year in the atmosphere. So due to the massive felling down of trees, various animal species are lost. So they lose their habitat and also forced to move to a new location. So many of them are even pushed to extinction. So our world has lost innumerable species of plants and animals in the last couple of decades. So a study of when Brazilian Amazon forecast that up to 90% of predicted extinctions will occur until the next 40 years. So deforestation leads to a huge loss of biodiversity. So about 80% of the global biodiversity is located in tropical rainforests. So forests not only provide habitats for wildlife, but also foster medicinal conservation. The forest acts as a critical medium to preserve the wide variety of species, but it also destroys the microbial community that is responsible for the production of clean water, the removal of pollutants, and the recycling of nutrients. And also deforestation for food may result in food insecurity in the future. So currently, 52% of all the land used for food production is moderately or severely impacted by soil erosion. So in the long term, the lack of fertile soil can lead to low yields and food insecurity. So but most important thing is people. So people in millions all over the world depend on forests for hunting and small-scale agriculture, gathering, leisure, medicine, etc. So everyday materials we use, such as like fruits, nuts, latex, even in latex, cork, natural oils, and are found in all forests. So this deforestation disrupts the lives of millions of people. So that's the major impacts of deforestation. So with this rapid deforestation, can technology really stop deforestation? So actually preserving forest itself is the best technology. So do not cutting trees. So, but we have to cut trees for our industries and for lives. But then what technologies are we adopting to protect forests? So simply put, forest-related technologies can be broadly divided into 3 columns. So first, forest resource development. Second is forest disaster management. And third, forest monitoring technologies. So first, forest resource development technologies include the following technologies. So in other words, it is to develop forest resources. So it is an activity to develop new tree species that are more resistant to climate change. So the development of new varieties through genetic technologies belongs to these technologies. And second, there is a technology to manage forest disasters. So in managing forest disasters like forest fires and landslides, the most important thing is to prevent forest disasters and conversely manage them for rapid recovery and minimization of damage in case of forest disasters. Therefore, it is necessary to develop a system that can predict forest disasters and develop a system that can minimize damage in case of damage. So in this regard, technologies such as drones are being developed and utilized, and technologies to prevent forest disaster through big data analysis are being widely used. So thirdly, it is a monitoring technology that is linked to advanced forest resource development and monitoring. So monitoring technology is very important, not only for disaster, but also for forest resource management, such as forest pests and invasive species. So satellite technology is introduced here, and the technology to manage forests in real time is further developed. So more and more startups are also using these kind of forest-related technologies. So today I'd like to introduce a few startups using forest related technologies. Of course, I have no affiliation with the company I'm introducing today. So the companies introduced here are kind of like representative startups using most common forest technology. And there are many other startups with has similar technology. So first on Flash Forest. So this company this company manages forest resource with UAVs. It's a drones. So you can think of drone, which is restoring forests through technology that automatically sows seeds and monitors them. So this would allow forests to be restored at a faster rate than human labor. So this is because drones can sow and monitor places that humans cannot go directly. So I will show you the video after the presentation. And the second company is Trivia. So Trivia is a company that monitors forest resources. So it's based on big data. So as a technology to manage forest using satellites, it provides more efficient forest management solutions to forest owners. So you can easily check your forest conditions with this big data and with the satellite images. So it's also a most like common technology now many startups involved in. And third company is Upstream Tech. This company helps forest management by providing climate forecasting information. So the companies actually I introduced today are technologies that are being mainly promoted by the recently emerging forest-related startups. So as a result of what I have looked at, there have been many companies recently especially related to forest monitoring. So if people have been monitoring forest growth, now it is possible to directly monitor forest through drones. And in addition, we are monitoring and managing forest fires through drone. And so, and many companies are emerging to manage forest resources more efficiently through weather monitoring. So in foreign countries, it is said that the market for buying and selling weather information is already very active. So if you say that the weather forecast in Korea is mainly made by the Korea Meteorological Administration, kind of, there are already, but in overseas, there are already many private companies in foreign countries that use satellite to process weather information and provide it to consumers. So, so I heard that one of your goal is to develop a partnership that can propose a new agenda through GYCC and further participate in P4G. So I would like to introduce my experience of like P4G partnership that I participated in. So I participated in a partnership called IoT for Mekong Delta, Vietnam in 2019. So the purpose of this partnership was to increase disaster response capacity through the introduction of water resource management system using IoT technology. It's very similar system. Actually, we can also adopt this technology to forest monitoring. So, so a total of 4 organizations from 3 countries participated in this project. So CLEAN, it's a like kind of like public-private partnership organization in Denmark, and GTC ourselves, and JH Sustain is a consulting firm. We participated as a Korean partners, and CRUISE, it's a research institute in Vietnam, also participated in Vietnam partners. So through this project, we developed a specific business model as the final result, and eventually secure actually business patent. So the business model is pretty specific. So the technology of forest-related companies introduced earlier is also applied to water management, providing customized weather information through weather information monitoring and local residents paying to receive the weather information. So actually, based on this business model, we aim to scale up our business through follow financial linkages, maybe people just scale up or like GCF or ODA. So now we are working on this. But from my experience, what P4G, the most important thing for applying P4G partnership is the idea and economically viable project, and then partnerships, so public-private partnerships. So when you think about developing some P4G partnership next year, targeting to Columbia summit, then you can think about the partnership with the countries, with the public and private organizations. So yeah, that's from my experience, lessons learned that from my experience. So it's a 30-minute presentation. So my presentation ends here, and I hope it was a time for you to increase your understanding of forests and about also deforestation, and furthermore, technologies that can solve them. So, and at any time, if you have any questions about careers, forest, or P4G, please contact me and at the email address below, and I'll be very happy to help you at any time. Thank you. So, and before closing my presentation, I will show you the YouTube clip, Flash Forest, how they keep the forest, restore the forest via technology. Oops. So my presentation file is shared now, right?
Yes.
Okay, oh, sorry. How do I share this?
I think the sound is not being shared now.
Okay. So sound is clear? No?
Could you play it?
Can you hear?
No,
Can
I
you
think
hear?
the sound is not shared yet.
Okay, so
Yeah, maybe you need to, when you're sharing the screen, you need to also share, you need to check that sharing sound.
all right. So,
It's in Zoom.
Oh yeah.
Way that I can think of doing it.
Then you can hear the sound.
Yes.
now.
Our goal is to plant 1 billion
Thank you.
trees.
Yeah.
So I started this company to have a large impact on carbon emissions. We wanted to just pull as much carbon out of the atmosphere as possible, and this is the most scalable and fastest way that I can think of doing it. Our goal is to plant 1 billion trees by 2028, and we're going to do it. My name is Bryce Jones. I'm CEO here at Flash Forest, and we're Canada's first-to-market drone reforestation company. So wildfires are increasing in Canada, and in Fort McMurray there was a huge wildfire recently, and there's quite a few actually just in the area in this boreal environment that have had wildfires. So one issue with this is that tree planters actually can't go in many of these sites. It's just too dangerous. You know, there's slopes, there's slash, there's cliffs, there's snags sticking out, and I think the real only way that I can think of to scale this up is through the air. And drone technology is here now, and we can use this. We can use this to our advantage.
Traditionally, Tree planting has been a labor-intensive process, but by taking to the skies, Flash Forest aims to make reforestation more efficient and to gain access to difficult-to-reach and dangerous environments, such as the post-wildfire areas around Fort McMurray. The key is in the biological seed pod technology. Pods can either be dropped from above the canopy or fired from near the forest floor. Once activated by moisture, the pod expands to create an ideal cavity for the tree to germinate and grow.
So ERA is allowing us to test our technology in northern Alberta. This is the boreal forest, and this is a biome that scales across Canada. It's the largest biome on Earth. It's a particularly difficult biome. The winters are harsh, the growing seasons are shorter, and so what works here will also work in Ontario, will work in Saskatchewan, across the country. ERA is committing $1.8 million over 3 years to this project. With this funding, we're going to be able to really ramp up our automation equipment and get closer to 100,000 and then eventually 500,000 pods a day.
Create, manage, and grow your.
So are you guys enjoying the video?
Yes, very much.
All right, so my presentation's here, up to here. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, but not hard questions.
Yeah, thank you so much. Please give her a big round of applause. Yeah, thank you so much for giving us this meaningful lecture. And if you have any questions, you can just leave it on chat or turn on your microphone and ask now.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, you showed us your picture about going to the desert and planting trees, and as nowadays there are a lot of areas that are becoming desert, and it's something that of course we don't want, but due to different reasons it is becoming like that. I don't know if you have any expertise on what's the what's the most difficult thing to make a desert a forest again. Like what's what do scientists need to look at, because when an area becomes a desert, there's practically everything dead, right?
So so actually the human is the most biggest barrier to reforest, actually, because like when I visit that desert, like Korean government actually help like Chinese government to reforest. But as I heard, the very first time, like the Chinese government wanted to develop more and more, and so they like government. It's not only Chinese government problem, and also in Korean also we have like same problem. So like so one side we developed we wanted to develop the land. So we don't want it to reforest. So there are no incentives for reforestation. So that's the biggest barrier for reforestation. So yeah, yeah. So always the so it's a political issue. It's the most hardest. So actually, there are a lot of like technologies already developed. So we also have, so in the globally actually many like advanced technologies we already have for reforestation, like genetic. We developed like very how to say very advanced genetic some tree species for like adapting climate change, but we cannot do it because of like political, some social issues. Yeah.
Thank you. Is there any other question? Yeah, you can just leave it on chat or raise your hand and ask. Yeah, I also have one thing to ask. So regarding the P4G partnership, like what was like hard things doing the whole process, or yeah, I'll just refine my question. What process are you on with the project or the partnership that you're doing now? Yeah,
Okay.
because
Oh,
Yeah.
so actually our P4G partnership developed from our research project. We have some connection with like Denmark partner Clean, and we also have like different partnership with Vietnam partners Cruise. And then once we develop some like climate cooperation project with them, and then we think that P4G is a very good chance for us to promote our research into the real world. So we applied P4G funding, and then we awarded, and then we implemented that project. But the most hardest thing to implement P4G project is the communication with the government and with the private companies. So it's a communication is very hard because we have Corona in 2020 and 2021. So it's very hard. We cannot visit on the ground. So we just only depends on the online communication. So it was very hard. And actually, I participated P4G workshop in last May, and then actually I met a lot of different national platforms in P4G countries, and then they wanted to introduce their partners. They how to say they not pledged, but we just communicated that we need more like communication with government partners, because when we implement the international project, we have to communicate with government first. So those among national platforms, they will help communication with their own private and their governments. Yeah, those.
yeah, thank you so much. Actually, GYCC was also there in last May. Yeah, we presented in the like future generation session. That was
Okay.
pre-session of the
That's good.
P4G.
All
Yeah,
right.
so that part was quite interesting to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, and actually, oh yeah, I forgot my question. Yeah, I'll tell you later. Yeah, is there any other question you want to ask?
So I also have questions. So
Yes.
yeah, what are the majors of you guys? I mean, so many different backgrounds.
Yeah, a lot of like different backgrounds are here. So like
Uh-huh.
starting with me, I'm majoring in international studies, but also doing double majoring in food and resources economics.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think can others introduce your major briefly?
I'm majoring in chemistry. Actually, I'm studying at SNU, which you're kind of like my senior. And I also do green leadership here. Yeah.
No.
So I'll go as no one else is speaking. I'm a professional architect. My graduation is in architecture, and this fall I'll be attending University of Arizona for my master's. That's also on architecture and technology integration mostly.
I think I can go too. I am an planner. I am majoring in special planning, but currently now want to major in development policy. Thank you.
Hi, I major in international development studies. So I study about development. It's quite similar with time, I think, international relations and so on.
How about Mohammed? Oh, or Ganu? Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
My major is law, and I focus on environmental law. And here in Korea, I'm studying public policy, social policies, and regulation regarding environmental changes.
Interesting. So, or you guys have different backgrounds. Then any others? Is if you're there.
For me, I'm majoring in a major called Global Korean Studies, and I'm also double majoring in political science. And that's for me, I joined GYCC just as Dr. Choi learned a new experience in the desert. So I wanted to learn new experience in GYCC. Yeah.
That's
I
interesting.
major in chemistry.
Good afternoon. I majored in BAC Sustainable Development, and just now I am doing my master's in Development Policy.
So
Yeah.
why I ask you this question is because when I just remember like more than like 10 years ago, but when I participated those kind of like international activities, and then I also met different backgrounds friends, and then actually they influenced me a lot. So as I told you that I never ever think about my like forest major in my future at the in my undergraduate time, but one of my friends who majored in forest environmental science, and then he got a lot of like visions in forest, and then actually he influenced me a lot. So that's why I majored in forest environmental science, and then actually you cannot know what thoughts will be connected in the future. So because I majored in business, and then in my master's my study focused on like kind of like payment. It called PES. It's payment for environmental services. It's more economic issues. But my PhD, it's more like policy issues, and then more into like forest recreation, but from police perspective. And then in GTC, I'm currently working for carbon market issues. So I'm doing developing like forest carbon project, not only forest carbon project, but also many other like carbon offset program like CDM or RED Plus. I'm not so sure you have heard about these terms, but those like forest carbon projects. Now I am developing those kind of projects. So hopefully, I don't know which point will like hit your head and then something popped up, and then but I hope you guys have like really have a really good time in Korea, and then hope to have a very good hope to make a very good friend in Korea, not only in Korea, in the world. And then yeah, that's it. So I'm so appreciate to participate in this lecture, and then yeah, I hope to see you sometime in near future, wherever in the world. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for this fruitful discussion and a meaningful lecture. And yeah, please keep connected with us. Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Yeah, please give another big round of applause to Ms. Kayang Choi. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you.
All right, everyone have a good day, and I hope to see you on Wednesday. Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good day.
Have a good day. Safe trip. Bye-bye.
Bye.